running long miles, and raising an energetic toddler have taught me anything, it's that real progress never happens in giant leaps, but rather one step at a time. Hey, I'm Piliswa. I'm originally from South Africa, now living in Ireland. Beyond being a runner and a mom, I'm a microbiologist by training. Shapes how I approach my life as one big continuous experiment. This channel, Miles and Milestones, is about that steady pursuit, whether we're working on our health, building our careers, or just figuring out how to navigate the everyday chaos and keep moving forward. Sounds like you. I'd love to have you in this community. Hit that subscribe button and join the family. I looked into that camera and I sat in this very chair and I promised myself and all of you that I was going to complete the 75 medium challenge. So I did what we all do. I set up my tracker. I bought the healthy food and I wrote down my goals, but then I failed. Then it flopped. I didn't just miss one day. It started off so well, but then I just didn't have the momentum to keep it going. If you look at the self-help side of the internet, everyone is always winning. They are waking up at 5 a.m., crushing 2-hour workouts and looking flawless while doing it. But today I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to be entirely transparent. I want to tell you exactly why I wasn't able to continue, how that happened, and why now that we are officially in the mid-year point of 2026, I'm stepping back into the arena to do it all over again. But this time, we are going to be playing entirely by different rules. Stick around, because if your own goals have failed lately, this is a reset for you too. First off, how and why I failed. So how did it happen? It started off great, but the first 2 weeks, momentum carried me through, but then reality hit with life and different goals that we need to, like different aspects of life, and everything came to kind of like a screeching halt. At some point, I was doing the tasks, but not ticking them off on my tracker, or just abandoning the tasks completely. Just looking back now, what would I say is the classical mistake that I made? I would say operational overload. Because I was so eager and I just wanted to kind of overhaul my whole life, I put in too many goals that I wanted to change and too many different aspects of my life. And so that would be learning curve number 1. I had 10 goals that I was tracking, from physical to family to career to personal, mental health. I was determined to do it all. On paper, it was the ultimate glow up, but in reality, it felt like the second job as well. Think about it. I was navigating life as a parent to a high energy 4-year-old, managing a demanding career, training for long distance races, learning how to drive, and trying to remember to check off all the 10 boxes before bed. The moment one area of life threw a curveball, the whole system collapsed like a house of cards. I realized that I was forcing rigidity into a packed lifestyle, and so that was just the recipe for burnout. So I wanted to touch a small bit on the pros and cons and my lessons from last year. So as much as I would love to have come here with the like a win, with the story of saying I tried it, I attempted it, and I was able to do my 75 medium and complete it, and I wanted to come to you guys with the results, I wasn't able to. Let me know in the comments if you've ever attempted a challenge like 75 medium or 75 hard, 75 soft, or Project 50, or any of these challenges that are going out there. Let me know if you're able to complete it and what helped you, or if you weren't able to complete it and what were the key takeaways. Okay, so going back to myself and the pros and cons that I learned from this challenge. The first thing in terms of pros was that I was able to see on paper where my time was going. So I could tell what I was spending most time on and what was stealing time away from me, because now I had a way to track. They normally say what isn't tracked can't be improved. Like you have to see where your baseline is in order to be able to improve that. The second thing is that it pushed me to use the knowledge that I already have to make a better health to make better eating choices, to eat healthier. For example, I started to incorporate way more grains into the food that I ate, which is something that I have all kind of kept throughout, even though I stopped doing the 75 medium challenge. So I leaned onto my background as a microbiologist of gut prebiotics, and how when our gut is healthy, or if our microbiome is doing the job that it's meant to do, then we ultimately feel so much better. So I did lean onto that background. So just doing this challenge, the 75 medium challenge, then wasn't a total loss. It forced me to focus on gut diversity and to introduce habits, in terms of probiotics, prebiotics, and the habits that have stuck and have improved my energy levels. Because I don't want this video to be too long, I wanted to just touch a small bit on the cons, or what led to my ultimate stopping. I would say the tax of perfectionism, because I had something that I was tracking. I wanted to be perfect in all the areas of my life, and if one area didn't get the attention that I had, then it kind of just had a domino effect that trickled into all the other areas of my life. For example, if I was busy at work, then I couldn't go for my run, then I'd eat poorly, and it would just be, like a domino effect. So I think trying to be too perfect, or trying to overhaul and change too many things, was the biggest mistake that I made. Going forward, I would advise that you maybe take one element of your life and then try to improve on that, and then once you have that on lockdown, then move on to the next element. But sometimes I would just, sometimes I feel like some of us are impatient, thinking, oh, I'll just I just focus on my eating, I don't have the patience for all of that, but I'm going to try this time around and just do it better. So what has changed, and what am I doing differently this time? I'm going to try. With social media, it's very tempting to only show what has worked, but I'm a scientist, and sometimes we publish negative results where you have a hypothesis and the data doesn't support your hypothesis. We don't scratch, we don't throw away that data, we publish it still. So I'm going to use the same principles, and I'm going to share with you the raw data. I'm going to share with you what's messy. I'm going to share with you my weekly mileage. I'm going to share my step count, and let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to see. I'm going to try not to make it too personal, because digital footprints and whatnot, but I will try to keep it as transparent and as accountable as I can. So by documenting the micro wins, and by documenting every 7 days, it will reduce, as I said in the beginning, that 75 days is a long time for me. But if I just take it at 7 days at a time, I don't know though, is 75 days visible by 7? I don't think so. I think it's 77. That would give you what, 11 weeks? Oh, I'm so bad. Or 10 weeks. 10 weeks is 70. Yeah, 11 weeks. I was right the first time around. Anyway, maybe we'll do 77 days for completion, because 25 is not divisible by 7. But I'll do my check-ins every week, and I'll let you know how each week goes. We shall break it down into manageable chunks, and we're going to I don't know why I talk like I'm preaching. We're going to break it down to manageable chunks. We are halfway through the year. I just wanted to hear from you guys. What goals did you set for yourself? And were you able to execute the steps that I needed to achieve those goals? Or were you completely sidetracked and you lost track, and you got, distracted? That's okay. We don't need to wait for spring day to start, or for January to start afresh. All you need to do is just make up your mind on a random day in June or July, and call that day or the next day your day one, and just start. And tell me what's the one goal that you are rescuing for 2026, so that you don't miss next week's very first check-in. And if you stay to the end of the video, thank you so much for sticking around, and do make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and drop me a comment if you had a key takeaway from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.